Hi, I'm Robert Dubwise Browne, and welcome to Song and a Story Season 2, where I play you a song and tell you a story. The song doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the story, sometimes it does. Now, today's song is actually a song by my son Salim. He produced the song pretty much a couple of years ago, and he's performing the song. I'm not going to play the song for you today. I'm going to play a clip of a performance that he did at his final year performance at Edna Manley College of Music. On the stage, you have the three generations. Again, just as in my Cliff Marlitosh live performance, where you have my father on bass, myself on guitars, and Salim is taking the lead bass, the artist role, so to speak, in this video clip, right? Please excuse the poor audio on the performance. I tried to get a direct line audio, but the school didn't record it, or the school didn't provide it. So what you're hearing is the audio in the auditorium that was picked up by the camera. Again, usually there's, pristine audio on my videos, but in this case, sadly, there won't be. So I think the bass is, you can hardly hear it, but you get the gist of the performance. So, enjoy. Yes, that was Vibe With Me, a song by Salim Browne, aka Bruce Lee, my son, my eldest son. Today's story now is a little, thing about parenting 101, as I titled the video. So when Salim was maybe 3 or 4 years old, when I used to take him to school, I had the CD in the car, a Bob Marley CD, and I used to play it, in the days, and after a while I noticed him singing, but he wasn't singing the song. He wasn't singing the lyrics or the melody of the song. He was singing the bass line, right? And after a few days of noticing this, I was like, wow, Salim into bass. I should buy my bass. So that's what I did. I don't remember what age he was when he first got his bass, but he was excited and he, started to do two things on it. And so I got him a teacher who I did some lessons with. I mentioned him in a previous video, Maurice Garden. So I got him the tutor and he started out doing well, Mr. Garden said, he's a natural, he has good technique and stuff, and so they started lessons every week. I don't remember how long the lessons went on for. But I remember one day Mr. G said to me, Mr. Garden said to me, this is not, no, let me back up a second. So he was practicing at home, he would practice at home when he got homework to do from Mr. Garden and thing. He would practice, but I noticed as time progressed, he would not want to practice. And I'm not the kind of parent or person who likes to force people to do things, because I hate when people force me to do things. I kind of grew up in a situation where it made it unpleasant for me to do something if I'm being forced or bullied into doing something. You understand? So if I'm encouraging my kids to do something, it's more of a suggestion. It's more of suggesting, or sometimes with a stern voice as well. It depends on the situation, but something like music to me is not, it's an option to do it. It's not you have to do it or else. So it's an option. So I'm not going to, lay down the iron law to say, you have to do this and you have to do that and you have to do it this way. And no, you understand? There are so many other things in life, so many other experiences to be had. So to force somebody to do this one thing for my own probably selfish reason is not something that I do. Anyhow, so when I noticed the lagging or the practicing, I just kind of watched him. I tried to encourage it. It wasn't happening. So I said, okay, do your thing. However, it started to reflect in his classes. So Mr. G said to me, this is not going to work out, You're wasting your money and you're wasting my time. Salim isn't practicing, he's not moving forward, and I can't do the same thing every week. So he has to stop coming here, which I respected, because he could have easily continued to take my money and just waste the time. Anyhow, we stopped sending him to the classes. He seemed to have lost interest altogether. So no practicing, no nothing. I don't remember the age, between what age and what age. And I was like, okay, whatever. It's neither here nor there to me. One day he'll find something that he's interested in, and we'll encourage that, His mom encouraged him to do cadet in school. He also went to my sister's dance school. He still actually does performances with them. So there are other things that he, he got involved in. There are other things he got involved with and showed interest. He really seemed to like dancing, hip hop and those kind of things, and dancehall and things. So, he was allowed to do his thing, and I just leave the music part alone from then. However, few years down the line now, maybe into his teens, or the latter teen years, the latter part of high school, I was away, and I heard that he started, taking up back the bass. I was like, oh, cool, Zine. So without my presence or, encouragement, he started back practicing. He took up the bass, started listening to stuff, trying to play from ear, and, revisiting some of the material Mr. Gordon taught him. And so coming to the end of high school now, where we were trying to figure out, okay, what's next, which college, university, what you want to do. And the decision was made that he would go to Edna Manley College of the Performing Arts. He did the audition, got in, and did his program. And as you saw in the video clip, the song, his performance was his final year show. All of this conversation today is to say, as parents, sometimes we try to force our kids into things, because we know what's best for them, right? We always think we know what's best for them. And based on our experiences and our knowledge, we want, and what we want for our children, we always want them to have a better life than we had. So we try our best, we try to get them to good school, we try to encourage them in certain areas so that, they have a broad understanding of life and experiences. But in doing so, a lot of the times we force them to do things that they are not interested in and they are not happy doing. A lot of the times it pays off, meaning I know the story of a Jamaican athlete. She did not like, as far as I heard, it was problems to get her to train every morning, waking up and going to train. But in the long run, she became one of Jamaica's top athletes. So sometimes it pays off. Other times, the child becomes totally resentful and rebellious. So you have to know your child and the temperament and how to relay information and how to relate to the child. So the point I'm making is, my other son Miles, never seemed interested in music at all either, until recently. And again, me being a musician in the house, it's quite easy for me to be forceful and, drive it in to their, being, but I rather see what the person is interested in than encourage it. So lately, he's been interested in guitar, so I try to show him what I know or whatever knowledge he requests, right? But the whole point of my thing is, you have to have a relationship with your child so that you know how to relate to them. Some kids, you can bully them and force them and it will work out. Others will get totally resentful and rebellious, right? So point is, know your child, observe them. That's the next thing a lot of parents don't do. It's all about what they want as a parent, and I know this, I want you to do this because this is best for you. Learn to observe your child. See, just observe quietly, and sometimes ask certain questions and pick their brains, so you know what, where they are mentally, what they're into. Don't just resent their youthfulness. A lot of times, we hear what they're listening to as music. When they become teenagers, we notice they're listening to a certain type of music and it's not our thing, and we quickly resent it, and instead of seeing how and why it relates to them or they relate to it. So, parenting 101, not really, but my suggestion for you today is observe your kids and don't force them into doing things that are optional. Certain things, like for instance, in this day and age, I believe going to university or college is a must. It's the world we live in now. So you can force them to go to college, but sit down with them and decide what program. Don't force them to do a particular program because that's what you think you should have them do. You understand? It's the same thing with Miles. He has to go to college now, and the only his program was chosen for him because he would not decide what to do. In that case, we have to make a decision. But he was given the option to choose. You understand? So that is my thing. You have to go to school. What do you want to do? What are you inclined to do? What are you interested in? Right? Things like that. That way you'll get more out of the student. They will more make an effort. If it's something what I'm interested in, if it's something that you're forcing them to do, most of the time they'll just go through the motion and probably be mediocre at it, or they might scrape through, they might pass, but not excel. You understand? When somebody loves something, they're going to put their all into it and excel. So, encourage without being forceful. That's it for today. I'm in nature, outside in the yard, holding a vibe for you. Remember to like this video, subscribe, share, and keep listening. Big up, bless up, one love.